Welcome to Roth Living. My name is Mike Shannon, and I have an easy Valentine's make-at-home dinner that still comes off as luxurious. We're going to make a lobster mac and cheese for two, simple grilled Caesar salad with homemade Parmesan crisps. Let's start with a quick discussion of the lobster. This dish is only going to take one 8 or 9 ounce lobster tail, fresh or frozen, whatever you can get. And then you just want to take a pair of scissors and cut down the side of the lobster. Peel back that membrane on the bottom, and then take your lobster flesh and just cut it into 1/2 inch chunks or so. And then we're going to put that into a skillet with some butter and cook it till it's just opaque. Meanwhile, we're going to make a nice cheese sauce, fold the lobster and some cooked pasta together in that cheese sauce, spoon it into these prepared gratin dishes, top it with a little breadcrumbs, and then pop it in the Wolf Convection steam oven. So let's take a look now at these sauces as they start to come together. So as you can see here, I like to pre-brown my breadcrumbs. The whole idea of tossing them in butter and throwing them on top of a pasta and browning perfectly doesn't work so well. So I've pre-browned those in a skillet, and I'm going to use that skillet to also cook my lobster. So we'll set those aside. In this saucepan here, I've got melted butter, and now I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of flour in there. And just kind of whisk that around a little bit. When this is cooking, I want it to look like wet sand. So I've whisked that in place. We'll let that bubble over medium heat a little bit. You ought to see it start to cook. You only want to cook it long enough to take out the flavor of flour, because the flour is raw and you just want to cook it for a few minutes. You see that? It's starting to look like wet sand. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. You see that texture? Like wet sand. Beautiful. In this other skillet, I'm going to add a tablespoon of butter, and then my lobster meat, and I'm just going to cook that till that's opaque. Meanwhile, now that my roux has cooked, starting to brown a little bit on the edges, I'm going to add to this just a little bit of milk, a little bit at a time, and just whisk it in, trying not to form any lumps. And you're going to get a few lumps. Just whisk and incorporate so that you have this nice sauce. And then let it come to a simmer and thicken just slightly. So while that's simmering, we can transfer our lobster. You'll see this milk and roux solution start to simmer a little bit. Got our butter melted in here for our lobster. Now we're not going to cook this lobster all the way through because it's going to still get to cook some in the mac and cheese. All right. I'm going to add the lobster to this. Put it right on top of that rest of that butter so it continue to melt a little bit. Let's just stir that around. So we end up with just a little pieces, slightly cooked, full of flavor from the butter. Meanwhile, my sauce back here is thickened. Got beautiful, nice thickened sauce. I don't see any lumps. So I'm going to turn this off and fold in my cheeses. I have about a cup of Gruyere and then about a 1/2 cup of white cheddar. And I turned the heat off because I don't want this to go any further. Just let that cheese melt for a second. Let's give my lobster a little turn here. So the lobster's not going to get bright white or get very, won't take on any color. I just want it opaque so that when I fold it into my cheese sauce, it can finish cooking to perfection. So my cheese sauce is almost completely melted now. Just stir it a few times. You want it to be completely smooth. Lobster is coming along. I think we're really there. I'm going to turn the heat off on the lobster. Got my cheese sauce nice and melted at this point. So to this cheese sauce, I'm going to add the lobster, some cooked pasta, and some fresh thyme. I'm going to stir that together until it's all nice and coated. Season it, and then we're going to spoon it into those 2 gratins and top it. So now I've got the pasta mixture. I'm going to now put these slightly browned breadcrumbs over the top. Again, I feel like they don't ever brown quite as evenly if you just do them in the oven. So I like to do a little pre-work in the skillet. We're going to set our Wolf Convection steam oven on convection steam and pop these in. I'll meet you at the oven. Okay, so we're ready to put these in the oven. We've got our breadcrumbs all over top of our pasta. I have the convection steam oven set on convection steam at 375. So let's put these in. And let's set a timer for about 13 minutes. We'll come back when they come out. We'll get this whole meal together for you. Let's move over to the char or the grill now and work on that salad. So for this grilled Caesar salad, I have some romaine hearts here, just cut in half. I've brushed the cut side with some oil and then seasoned them with salt and pepper. This is a pretty quick process, so you'll need to stay right with your grill. But you put it down on that cut surface, and what I'm looking for is just some char marks on there. Just some grill marks, because that char flavor really jumps off in this salad. It makes it a wonderful flavor. You want to let them go for about a minute, maybe slightly more. You can see we're generating some smoke. So it'll be interesting to see if we've gotten some nice grill marks on the other side. Look at those. It really is that fast, folks. Turn that over. A few grill marks on the top there. Nice. That big one. So now let's finish up our plating and check on our mac and cheese. To make Parmesan Crisps, either line a sheet pan with parchment paper or a silicone mat, which is used for baking. And you just want to take grated Parmesan cheese by about a tablespoon and just sprinkle it on here. Then you want to spread it out so that it's a really even layer. So it's not too. If you want to make perfectly round shapes, that's fine. If you want them to be slightly rounded or just random, all of that's fine. Now I'll place these in a wall oven on 375 convection or 400 bake for about 2 to 5 minutes. And when they come out, they end up looking like this. You'll get these beautiful cheese, different shapes, just nice and crispy for the top of your Caesar salad. All right, we're back. Take our mac and cheese out of the oven. Timer's done. Oh, it's bubbling around the edges. Look at that beauty. So now, let me go set the table. We'll pull this little Valentine's meal together for you. I'll join you at the table. So here we are at the Valentine's table. We've got our beautiful lobster mac and cheese, our grilled Caesar salad with homemade Parmesan Crisps. It had a quick blender Caesar salad dressing that I'll include in the recipes. Perfect for that special night in. Also check out Roth Living YouTube channel for other videos and recipes. If you're looking for dessert now, some of our other chefs have put up dessert chocolate recipes. And we look forward to seeing you in one of our showrooms soon.